Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into a topic that affects millions but is often shrouded in silence: urinary incontinence. It can be embarrassing, it can be frustrating, and it can feel very isolating. But the truth is, it's a lot more common than you might think. We're going to break down the stigma surrounding urinary incontinence by looking at the stories of three well-known individuals who have bravely shared their own experiences. These are people you know, people you admire, and their stories will show you that urinary incontinence doesn't discriminate, and it definitely doesn't have to hold you back. So if you or someone you love is dealing with bladder control issues, stick around. This video is for you. Let's get started.
Our first story takes us to the bright lights and high energy of the entertainment world. You know her as a pop icon, a talented dancer, and a beloved judge on American Idol. But what you might not know is that Paula Abdul has been quietly battling urinary incontinence for years. Imagine the pressure of performing in front of millions, nailing those iconic dance moves, all while worrying about an embarrassing little secret. That was Paula's reality. She started experiencing leaks, those little accidents that can happen when you cough, sneeze, or even laugh too hard. For Paula, it started subtly. Years of high-impact dance routines took a toll, and like many of us, she experienced changes in her body as she got older.
Stress urinary incontinence, or SUI, is actually quite common, especially in women. At first, Paula did what many of us do. She kept it to herself. She was worried about what people would think, how it would affect her career. The fear of judgment can be paralyzing, but Paula ultimately realized that she wasn't alone. In a courageous move, Paula Abdul partnered with the National Association for Continence, the NAFC, to share her story with the world. She bravely spoke out about her struggles with SUI, even admitting to relying on absorbent pads during performances. This wasn't just a personal victory for Paula, it was a turning point for millions of people living with incontinence.
Here was a woman at the top of her game, someone we all admired, openly talking about a condition that's often whispered about in hushed tones. Paula's openness had a ripple effect. She became an advocate for the NAFC, appearing in campaigns and using her platform to spread awareness. She showed the world that urinary incontinence is not something to be ashamed of, and that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. But Paula's story doesn't end there. She didn't just talk the talk, she walked the walk. She sought treatment for her SUI, exploring options like pelvic floor therapy. These exercises are designed to strengthen the muscles that support the bladder, and they can be incredibly effective.
In Paula's case, she ultimately decided to undergo a minimally invasive sling procedure. This type of surgery helps to reinforce the urethra, making those accidental leaks a thing of the past. It's a common procedure with a high success rate, and it gave Paula back the confidence she needed to keep performing without worry. Paula Abdul's story is a powerful reminder that urinary incontinence doesn't have to define you. It's a medical condition, and like many medical conditions, there are solutions. By speaking out, by seeking help, and by refusing to let incontinence hold her back, Paula has inspired countless others to do the same. Our next story takes us from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood to the everyday life of a successful real estate agent. This is Christopher Miller's story, and while his name has been changed for privacy, his experience resonates with countless men facing similar challenges. Christopher was living a full life, but it took an unexpected turn when he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. It's a diagnosis that affects millions of men, and while the news is never easy, Christopher faced it head-on. He underwent a radical prostatectomy, a common procedure to remove the prostate gland. It was a success, but like many men who undergo this surgery, Christopher began experiencing urinary incontinence as a side effect.
Imagine this: you've just battled and overcome prostate cancer. You're ready to get back to your life, but you're facing a new challenge. Leaks. It's frustrating, it's disruptive, and it can feel like a major setback. Christopher's initial experience was disheartening. He was told that incontinence was a common side effect of the surgery and that it would likely resolve on its own. He was given a timeline, a light at the end of the tunnel, but as weeks turned into months, the leaks persisted. Christopher wasn't one to give up easily. He diligently followed the advice of his healthcare providers, doing his pelvic floor exercises and trying medications like oxybutynin, which is often prescribed to help relax the bladder muscles. But despite his best efforts, Christopher wasn't seeing the results he'd hoped for.
The leaks continued, impacting his work, his social life, and his overall quality of life. It's a common experience for men dealing with post-prostatectomy incontinence, and it can be incredibly isolating. After 2 years of frustration and setbacks, Christopher decided to seek a second opinion. He consulted with a specialist who had extensive experience treating men with his condition. This decision proved to be a turning point in Christopher's journey. The specialist listened to Christopher's concerns, reviewed his medical history, and offered a solution that gave Christopher renewed hope: an artificial urinary sphincter, or AUS.
An AUS is a surgically implanted device that helps men regain control of their bladder function. It acts like an internal valve, allowing men to urinate when they choose and preventing leaks the rest of the time. Christopher decided to move forward with the AUS procedure, and the results were life-changing. He regained full bladder control, allowing him to return to his active lifestyle without worry or embarrassment. It was the solution he'd been searching for, and it gave him back his confidence and his freedom.
Christopher's story is a powerful reminder that there is hope, even when faced with persistent urinary incontinence. It highlights the importance of advocating for your health, seeking specialized care, and exploring all available options. By sharing his experience, Christopher is empowering other men to do the same. He's showing them that they don't have to suffer in silence, that there are solutions out there, and that regaining control is within reach.
Chapter 3. Serena Williams, Serving Up Strength After Childbirth. Our final story takes us to the world of professional tennis, where strength, agility, and mental toughness are paramount. I'm Serena Williams, a name synonymous with power and grace on the court, and I'm not only a tennis legend but also a powerful voice in the conversation about postpartum health. In 2017, I gave birth to my daughter Olympia via an emergency C-section. It was a joyous occasion, but like many mothers, my postpartum journey came with its share of challenges. One of those challenges was stress urinary incontinence, a condition that's often overlooked or minimized in conversations about motherhood. Imagine this. You're at the top of your game, a world-renowned athlete, but you're struggling with leaks during training. It's a reality that many women face after childbirth, even elite athletes like myself. The physical demands of pregnancy and childbirth can weaken the pelvic floor muscles, those crucial muscles that support the bladder and other pelvic organs. For me, this meant leaks during high-impact movements on the court, those powerful serves and lightning-fast sprints that define my game. But I'm not one to back down from a challenge. I knew that my body needed time to heal, and I was determined to regain my strength and my dominance on the court. I also knew that I wasn't alone in this experience. I was open about my struggles with postpartum incontinence, sharing my story in interviews and on social media. I talked about the leaks, the frustration, and the importance of seeking help. In doing so, I gave a voice to countless women who were silently dealing with the same issue. My openness was a game changer. Here I was, a global icon, someone at the pinnacle of physical fitness, talking about a condition that's often shrouded in shame and secrecy. I normalized the conversation around postpartum health, reminding women that it's okay to not be okay, and that asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. But I didn't just talk the talk, I walked the walk. I worked closely with a pelvic floor physical therapist, dedicating myself to a rigorous rehabilitation program. I focused on Kegel exercises, which are designed to strengthen the pelvic floor muscles, and biofeedback, a technique that helps you gain better awareness and control of those muscles. My dedication to my recovery paid off. I regained control of my bladder, my strength, and my confidence. I returned to professional tennis in 2018, reclaiming my spot at the top of the rankings and proving that motherhood doesn't have to mean the end of a successful athletic career. My story is a testament to the resilience of the human body and the power of the human spirit. It's a reminder that even the strongest among us face challenges, and that seeking help, putting in the work, and refusing to give up can lead to incredible victories, both on and off the court.
Thank you for watching. If you found these stories inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Remember, urinary incontinence is a common issue, and seeking help is the first step towards reclaiming your life. Whether you're dealing with stress incontinence, urge incontinence, or any other type of bladder control issue, know that you are not alone. There are solutions out there, from lifestyle changes and pelvic floor exercises to medications and surgical interventions. The most important thing is to talk to your doctor. They can help you determine the underlying cause of your incontinence and recommend the best course of treatment for your individual needs. See you in the next video.